mentioned this back in part 1, but there's always new people hopping on board. Welcome to the channel, by the way, and just so we're all on the same page, okay? Back when Gossip Girl was on, like back when it was new, unironically, unabashedly, I watched it. I was so into the show for reasons that honestly I still don't fully understand. But anyway, I thought I would take a dive back in and, take another look at one of my used-to-be favorite shows. So we start out with Eleanor Shellstrop from The Good Place explaining to us what rich people do on Sundays.
Is there really anything better than a lazy Sunday? Reading the paper in bed, sipping coffee, scrambling an egg or two? Yeah, right. We Upper East Siders don't do lazy. Breakfast is brunch, and it comes with champagne, a dress code, and 100 of our closest friends. And enemies.
Can we all just admit that brunch is like the second dumbest idea ever invented? Like, you don't need an excuse to eat breakfast food later in the day than usual, okay? Breakfast food is an all-day food. French toast for dinner? Stick it in my veins, I'm ready for it. For those of you wondering, by the way, the #1 worst idea, of course, are those women's gaucho pants. What, are you going to meet Cinderella at the ball later? When we left Dan and Serena last time, they're supposed to go on a date, but Chuck and Jenny had like this whole thing. Dan went to save her, and on the way home, he had the most awkward moment.
No, let's go, please. Williamsburg? No. Hi.
The next day, Serena's talking to her brother about said moment, trying to understand why Dan would just, wave at her.
I wouldn't have taken him for a waiver.
Maybe he was just trying to be funny.
Maybe he's shy.
Or he hated me.
No guy in the history of the world has ever hated you.
Probably for the best. The last thing I need in my life is a new guy. He was just so smart, though, and funny.
It sounds like you like him.
And really nice.
Smart, funny, and nice? Haha! The trifecta gets him every time. Just kidding. No, it doesn't. Never works. Later, Dan goes to Serena's hotel to apologize for waving. Yeah, okay, sure. And runs into Nate, who probably also waved once at some point. I don't really know. And as you might imagine, things get a little awkward.
Hey.
Now, one thing that this episode, or I guess the entire show in general really, but specifically this episode shows us, is how girls and boys handle problems, okay? So first of all, let's take a look at Dan, Nate, and Chuck. While waiting for Serena, Dan runs into Chuck, who he punched in the first episode after Chuck was getting all like handsy-handsy with Jenny. And how do they handle their differences? Well, let's take a look.
Him? Hey, what are you doing here? Why, what is this, your hotel? Actually, it is.
Yeah, so unless you have a reason to be here, I'll have to ask you to wait on the curb with the rest of the trash.
Trash? You started.
Okay, man, let's just go.
Tell me you're sticking up for Serena's new bitch. If anyone's got a reason to kick his ass, it's you. This isn't over. Hey, anytime, man. That one black eye looks a little lonely.
I don't like you. I'll beat you up, man. I'll mess you up first. But girls? No. Girls fight in a totally different way. Girls fight like if you had a video game where you could only backstab. You see, boys fight with fists and yelling, okay? So the louder the yell, the stronger the punch, you win. Very simple rules, okay? For girls, it's a very complex algorithm that would take years to understand, but a simple rule of thumb is head bob multiplied by eyebrow raise, okay? Just watch Blair, how she talks to Serena right here.
Look, Blair, I'm really trying to make an effort here. I thought everything was good between us.
It was. Before I found out you had sex with my boyfriend. Nate told me. Don't bother saying anything. I wouldn't believe you anyway.
Blair, it was...
I always knew you were a whore.
Finish her!
I never took you for a liar, too.
Anyway, so back to the actual show.
I'm an honest guy. I've got no reason to lie. You're a superstitious girl.
Dan, hey.
I was in the neighborhood. Give or take 70 blocks.
You know, this is one of those things that looks really romantic on TV or in movies or whatever, but like in real life, if the guy went on like a half date with you and then went to where you were living and just waited hours for you, you don't think that would raise any red flags? Like, I got dumped once just cause like I replied to text messages too fast, but it's cool, it's fine, I'm over it. I mean, I totally forgot about it, Jessica. So they all end up going to brunch because it wouldn't be Gossip Girl without a party. In every episode, like seriously, all they do is go to parties. How does anyone get anything done on this show? Do they have no other hobbies? Anyway, so one thing leads to another and Serena is waiting for Nate in Chuck's room to talk. Unbeknownst to Blair, who takes Nate up there also to, I assume, talk as well, because I mean, what else are two teenagers gonna do alone in a hotel room? You know, like what, you playing Monopoly up there? In the end, Blair, upset about Serena and Nate, tells Dan that Serena had a sleepover with Nate, and Chuck is just there because, like, I don't know, whatever.
Serena, there you are. Where were you?
She was waiting in a hotel room for my boyfriend.
Now, what is going on here?
We were just getting to that.
Blair, please don't do this.
Sorry.
Look, Dan, it was a long time ago and I regret it.
Look, Serena, stop trying to pretend you're a good girl. So you slept with your best friend's boyfriend. I kind of admire you for it.
Is that true?
Well, then she ran away and lied about it.
Dan gets all grumpy grump about this for some reason and leaves. Serena chases after him and they have a little heart-to-heart talk.
Dan, wait, I'm so sorry.
There's no need to be. Really, I shouldn't have come here today. I made a mistake.
No, you didn't. Look, I'm sorry about Blair and Chuck.
It's not about Blair or Chuck. I mean, it is, but it's not just them.
No, I know. Trust me, I know. This world, it's crazy.
Yeah, it is. And you're a part of it.
What, you didn't know that?
I don't know, I thought you were different.
And Dan just turns and walks away from Serena? Are you stupid? You know, after my last video about Gossip Girl, I was trying to think about like, what exactly was it that got me so interested in the show in the first place? You know, like back when it was on. And watching it back now, I think something Gossip Girl did that other shows nowadays don't do as well, at least in my opinion, is it had really broad universal appeal. Like a lot of shows have specific demographics in mind that they aim for. Gossip Girl just kind of checks all the boxes, I guess you could say. Like it's equally as inclusive or whatever for guys as it is for girls. Like we all get someone who kind of fits us. You got Dan, the everyman we all kind of see ourselves as. Nate, with his overbearing parents trying to control his life. Chuck, the guy who deep down we all wish we could be just for like one day, you know? Jenny, the awkward girl trying to fit in. Blair, the rich disagreeable one. Serena, the bad girl trying to be good. You got Dan's dad, Serena's mom. I mean, sure, okay, yeah, they're all like template cookie cutter characters, but considering when this show came out, it all just kind of works. It's kind of like how, you know, like season 1 of Riverdale worked so well. Like it had a relatable, universal cast of characters who all knew who they were and owned it. And then of course season 2 came along and just threw that all out the window. I mean, geez, up is down, right is left, black is white. Who needs logic, am I right? But anyway, honestly, and this is just my opinion, I still think Gossip Girl holds up better than a lot of other shows I've done videos on. Its concept is very simple, but you know, it just works. Hey, so really quick, for this part and this part only, I'm coming out of the flu, so for just the next like 30 seconds or whatever, I got this amazing voice, so we're just gonna have to deal with that right now. Anyway, as always, we got some brand new merch in the store. We got this limited edition XOXO Gossip Girl shirt, and as always, I have a special free worldwide shipping promo code for everyone. So just enter in Gossip Girl, all one word, at checkout, and you get free shipping anywhere you live in the world, okay? So if this shirt looks good to you, the link is below, and check it out. And now, back to my normal voice. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. So, you know, with Glee and with Secret Life and with a couple other shows I've seen, it's like you go back and watch them now and you're like, wow, these were trash. But Gossip Girl, I'm watching it back, and I mean, in later seasons, it kind of just repeats the same storylines over and over again, but as a whole, kind of in general, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's kind of dumb. It's dumb a lot of the time, but it's still enjoyable. It doesn't have like as much kind of cringy cheesiness as a lot of other shows do when you go back and watch them again and you're just like, why did I ever watch this show? And so Gossip Girl I think still actually kind of holds up because its premise is so simple. It doesn't rely on like trends at the moment, you know, like superhero dramas are everything, but in 5 or 10 years, you might look back and be like, man, everything was superheroes back then. Or, you know, in kind of the mid to late 2000s, everything was supernatural stuff. Everything was like werewolves and vampires and zombies and stuff, right? And now you look back and you're like, man, why was that a thing, you know? And so I think Gossip Girl stands the test of time. Not that it's a masterpiece or anything, but it stands the test of time because it's so simple and universal, and like, it's just teens living in New York. There's no like catch, you know what I mean? So I think think that's why not relying on trends and tricks kind of helps you in the long run. Makes it more evergreen, I guess you could say. Anyway, thanks for watching the video, guys. Don't forget to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter. I try to reply to everything that I get, so if you want to send me a suggestion or a message or just say hello, send me a message. Follow my dog on Instagram, Charlie Meets Pumpkin. I got a Patreon, just $5 a month. You get little behind the scenes stuff, get things early, that type of thing. It's, you know, it's just there if you're interested. If not, no big deal. Check out the merchandise, and above all else, have a great day, everybody, and I'll see you all next time.